Hello everyone, this is Shantae from planmindfully.com, and today we're going to do something different. We are going to walk through changing our mindset. We're going to change limiting beliefs into positive affirmations using the Positive Mindset Daily Journal. So let's get started. All right, so as I mentioned, we will be journaling this in the digital journal that is available on planmindfully.com. And the journal is actually free when you purchase the Positive Mindset Affirmation printable cards. So head on over there and get your set today. Use code MINDFUL30 to get 30% off your order. And again, you get the free digital journal, and then you also can get the 30 affirmation cards, and these are wonderful. They're all unique, so you get one for each day of the month. All right. Okay, so back to business. Oh, and before we get started, make sure to subscribe. So go ahead and do that, and then now we're ready to get started. So in this video, I'll be using the Xodo app to do the journaling with our digital daily journal. And if you're not familiar with Xodo, you can actually get it for free in the App Store. And I'm using it on my Windows Surface tablet, but you can use it on your phone, your laptop, whatever you have, because they have a web-based version as well. But I have the installed version on my Windows device, so we're going to use that. So now let's get started changing those limiting beliefs into positive affirmations. So a limiting belief, they can be a really big problem when it comes to maintaining a positive mindset. And that's why I decided to do this video, because I think we all have them. They kind of pop up when it's something that you want to do. Then you have that thought of like, wait, I can't do that. And then you usually get distracted and don't do what it is that you want to do. But we're going to work through those limiting beliefs in this video today, and we're going to have a technique where we actually go and change that limiting belief into a positive affirmation so that we can make things better and live our best life. So let's get started with identifying some limiting beliefs. So here's one that I have that people say often, maybe not exactly like this, but they say it. So here's one that we've probably all said, but my life is hard. When things get rough, you're just like, oh my God, my life is so hard. But, let's change that, because you may say, okay, my life is so hard and I can't seem to get anything right. Let's change that to a positive affirmation. Let's look at it as a way to grow. So let's change that into this. Everything I am going through and experiencing is helping me to grow. Let me say that again. Everything I am going through and experiencing is helping me to grow. So that's just an example of a limiting belief and us changing that to a positive affirmation. So before we get too far into this, let's go through this digital journal, and it's pretty easy to use, as you'll see. We're just going to navigate through here, and actually we have instructions for the daily journal and what we can do. So here I talk about writing your limiting belief in the space provided, because there's actually templates that are in here, the pages that where you can write this down and convert them into a positive affirmation, just like here in this example. So on the left side, you would write down your limiting belief, and on the right side, you write down the positive affirmation. So the one here is, I can never get anything done on time. That's the limiting belief. So some people a lot of us probably feel like that. I can never get anything done on time. But now let's change that to a positive affirmation. And that would become, I give respect and authority to my plans. That feels and sounds so much better. So instead of saying, I can never get anything done on time, now we're changing that to, I give respect and authority to my plans. Now, I also added a counter in this journal. And I did that because a lot of times when these limiting beliefs pop up, we have to catch them. It's better if you can catch them when they pop up in the mind and then change it to that positive affirmation, or read the one that you have written down, either out loud or in your mind, depending on where you are. If you're at home and you can do that, then do that. But the idea is to just keep a counter so that you can identify every time it pops up, but then also identify every time that you've changed that to a positive affirmation, just like here. So on the next page, you'll be able to see that there's actually space for 3 limiting beliefs. Not on this page. We have calendars in here for 2022 and 2023. Let's get past that. All right. So here you write the date down, and then here's where you put the counter, where you have the limiting beliefs that you would document as they pop up. So let's go back to that first one that I gave before, where I said that my life is so hard, I can't seem to get anything right. So we're going to put that here in the limiting belief. We're going to type that in the box here. So let me get this cursor in the right spot. So there you have, my life is so hard, I can't seem to get anything right. So we're going to change that into a positive affirmation. So the way we do that is, first, let me look at this. I think that text is a little big. What you guys think? Let's move it over just a tad bit. Actually, I think that fits perfectly. Move it down just a little bit. There we go. And let's move it over. Okay, so my life is so hard, I can't seem to get anything right. That is the limiting belief. And now we're going to change that into a positive affirmation. And let's go back to what we said that's going to be. We're going to change that to, everything I am going through and experiencing is helping me to grow. So we're going to type that in. All right, and then let's kind of move this around too, so it's just a little easier on the eyes. Oops, a little easier for us to read. But you get the idea. You really just want to change those limiting beliefs into positive affirmations. We'll make that a little smaller. There we go. And that looks much better. So now, instead of saying, my life is so hard, I can't seem to get anything right, now it says, everything I am going through and experiencing is helping me to grow. That just feels better just reading that, doesn't it? All right, so now let's have another limiting belief. Or let's identify another limiting belief. We're going to keep it the same color. And I like that font size. It's actually a nice small size, because these can get a little long at times depending on what it is that we have. So let's go ahead and get our second limiting belief that we have, and drum roll. Now yours may be different. I know. I understand that. This is just, again, just an example. So here's another one. I always feel drained and tired. That is one. I always feel drained and tired. A lot of times, just the daily stuff that you hear and see can make you feel drained and tired. But you don't have to feel drained and tired. So let's type that in since we've identified that. I always feel drained and tired. All right, now let's change that limiting belief into a positive affirmation. Because if we remember, we have control over our lives and we can make things the way that we choose. So we're going to turn that into a positive affirmation. So that turns into, let's see what we have here. That can be, I am filled with energy and positivity. That feels much better. I am filled with energy and positivity. So let's go ahead and type that in. That sounds so much better. So instead of saying, I always feel drained and tired, now what we say is, I am filled with energy and positivity. So there, we already have two that we've identified and how we can just turn them into positive affirmations. So the first one was, my life is so hard, I can't seem to get anything right. And now that is now a positive affirmation. And it says, everything I am going through and experiencing is helping me to grow. Again, you can just kind of feel the shift when you listen to that or when you read it. And the second one is, I always feel drained and tired. And we change that limiting belief to this positive affirmation. I am filled with energy and positivity. Now we have one more because we have 3 on each page. So we're going to just do this last one. And here's one that is probably really common. So this limiting belief is, I never seem to have enough money. Right? People say that. We a lot of times are just dealing with something. It could be just a temporary setback, but it kind of feels like that. So let's type that one in here. And we're going to turn that into a positive affirmation. So again, that limiting belief is that I never seem to have enough money. So let's put that in here. All right, and we're going to turn that into a positive affirmation that says, my life is becoming beautiful and prosperous each day. Again, that sounds so much better. My life is becoming prosperous and beautiful each day. So let's put that in this box, in the positive affirmation box. My life is becoming beautiful and more prosperous each, if I can spell each, day. Put an exclamation point at the end of that one. I like that one. My life is becoming beautiful and more prosperous each day. Let's fix that just so it fits a little better in that box. Let's get that space out of there. All right, there we go. Doesn't that sound so much better? So instead of saying, I never seem to have enough money, now it's, my life is becoming beautiful and more prosperous each day. So there you have it. It's really easy to do that. It just takes a little bit of time and focus. And I think that just the act of doing that actually does shift your energy. I know me just doing this right now, it just feels really good. So now that we've identified 3 limiting beliefs and changed them into positive affirmations, we are going to work on the counter so that when something pops up, either limiting belief 1, 2, or 3 in any given day, then you can actually go in and update the counter so that you can keep track of when you've changed that limiting belief into a positive affirmation. Okay, so now that we've identified 3 limiting beliefs. And also, we've changed those into positive affirmations. Now we're going to work on the counter so we can identify and mark each time one of these limiting beliefs pops up throughout the day. So what you would do is, as you can see, they're numbered. You have limiting belief 1, and then you have on the counter number 1, limiting belief 2, and then you have on the counter number 2, and then limiting belief 3, and then on the counter we have number 3. Same thing with the positive affirmations. So for each one, like we did before, there's a limiting belief and then the positive affirmation to counteract that and to shift the energy. So say, for example, you're having one of those days and number 2 pops up and it's like, I always feel drained and tired. That pops up in your mind. What you want to do is you want to shift your energy and focus on the positive affirmation. If you can read it out loud, then do that. But if nothing else, you can read it in your mind or just say it in your mind. I am filled with energy and positivity. After you've identified that and you've read that positive affirmation, since this is number 2, you want to mark it with the marker here in Xodo. Just click on this little icon here, and I chose the color purple. I think it's cute. Then you click on that, and then we're going to just mark it here under number 2 because that's the one that popped up. And so now you've just done that shift. You've now read, I am filled with energy and positivity. So let's say later on in the day, something crazy happens. Could be a project you're working on and just got kind of crazy, right? And it happens. So then you may pop up in your mind and say, oh my God, my life is so hard. I can't seem to get anything right. But we know that is not true. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on this positive affirmation instead. And we're going to say to ourselves, everything I am going through and experiencing is helping me to grow. Now, since we've done that, and that's number 1, we're going to mark number 1 so we can keep track of when this happens. So what you want to do is each time one of these comes up, no matter if it's number 1, number 2, or number 3, if you're just having one of those days and this one keeps popping up, number 1, then after you've read the positive affirmation, then you put a mark there so you can keep track of you making that change and shifting your energy. Think of that counter as an indicator of you shifting your energy into a more positive mindset. Well, that is all I have for this episode, and I do want to thank you for joining me. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe if you like my vibe. And also, please make sure to go to planmindfully.com to get your positive mindset affirmation cards. They are printable, and they can be printed on the Avery template 3263. Or you can just simply print them on plain paper or cardstock and you can cut them. It's totally up to you. But once you have them printed, you can place them on your vision board or put them on your desk, which is what I do. It's my workstation. And then also another option is to just place it in a highly visible location where you will be reminded of your intention. So you can tape it to a cork board or pin it to a board. If you have a piece of tape, you can pin it to your mirror or tape it to your mirror, but put it somewhere where you're going to see them. And you get 30 of them. They're all different. They're all unique. And they really do help to shift your mood. And you can use the daily journal to help you with identifying any limiting belief you have and then turning that into a positive affirmation. So everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you at planmindfully.com. Make sure you follow me also on my social media channels. I would love to connect with you. I have all the links in the description. So if you follow me, I do follow back, and that includes Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, but all the links are there, or you can scan the QR code. And again, thank you for listening and live mindfully.